Hi guys, it's Beth here today, and today I get to play with the Summer Floaties collection, and this is a new release by Scrap and For Less in the month of July, and it's a paper pack along with a coordinating stamp set. And how cute is this stamp set? All the little girls with the floaties. Very fun. And then the paper pack that goes with it, it's double-sided. So you get some fun summer prints on one side and some pool prints on the other. Some donuts and pizza. So today I am actually going to make a 12 by 12 layout with this because to me summer screams playing in the water or the pool, so that's what I am going to use. I'm using this as my inspiration and my title and embellishments for my page. So I will switch over to a voiceover at this point and you can follow along the process. So today I am going to be making a 12 by 12 scrapbook page, and when I saw the stamp set, it made me think of a scrapbook page for summer fun, pool fun, things like that. So that's what I'm going to be scrapbooking today for my daughters. So here, before I get started, I'm just doing some prep work. I'm stamping some of the images. I did the little girl with the donut floaty, and I stamped her twice just in case, but I only ended up coloring one and kneading one. And then I'm also going to stamp the Summer Girl sentiment from the stamp set, and I'm going to use that as the title on my page. And I'm using some clear Versamark ink because I'm going to heat emboss. And I'm just going to use some pink embossing powder that came in a recent Flavor of the Month kit. And since it's going to be my title, I wanted to add a little bit of extra texture and embellishment and flair to that particular sentiment. So I'm just using my heat gun to emboss that real quick. And then I'm going to clean up my mess and get started coloring. So I want to preface that I am not an expert colorist, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to be just doing some basic coloring. And I'm also using a variety of alcohol ink markers. So I have some Copics, some Prismacolor, and then some Studio 71. So I will try my best to let you know which ones it is that I'm using. And these first few that I'm using are Prismacolor. And I just wanted a lighter color for the bottom part of the donut. So I used the PB72, and then here for the top part of the donut, it's a chocolate donut because those are my favorite. And I'm using it's another Prismacolor, and it's PB172, just a darker brown. And I'm trying to color around all of those little sprinkles that are on the top of the donut. And one reason I like these Prismacolor markers that I have is because they have a finer tip point as well as a brush tip, so it allows me to get into some of these smaller spaces like this. So I tend to gravitate towards those if it's a smaller image or a smaller space that I'm coloring. So next I'm going with the RV29, and I am using that for some of the sprinkles. And we'll also use the RV11, a lighter pink from the Copics, for some sprinkles as well. And some of these colors I will also pull into her outfit a little bit later on. So now I'm going back to the PB72, which does not want to focus. And I was wanting another lighter color in for my sprinkles, so I just pulled that one back out. And then I also decided to just go ahead and color some of the sprinkles chocolate brown. So for her skin, I'm using YR5, which is a Studio G or Studio 71 color, and it's a light peach, and I'm using that for her skin. And I'm not doing a whole lot of shading just because I only have this particular shade. I will go over a couple places a couple times just to make them a little darker, like where her skin overlaps or where there might be some shadow, but nothing too in-depth. So next I'm using Y15, it's a Copic, and I'm just using that as the darker shade in her hair. My daughters are blondies, and so I wanted to make my little girl here a blonde as well. And again, not doing any specific shading, but also pulling in the Y13 just as a lighter color to fill in the rest. And then I want to make her swimsuit kind of like a deep pink. And so I end up pulling, I don't think I showed you, but it's the RV29, the crimson again, because it's like a deeper pink. It's the deepest pink I have, kind of almost red, but not a real red. And so I'm coloring up a little bit of the pieces of her bow and the stripes on her swimsuit, and then I made the headband that color as well. And then I'm using the RV35 for her lips and just to outline her sunglasses, just so it's like a little bit different shade than the rest of her swimsuit. And I realized I forgot to color the inside of the inner tube there. And I missed a few of her stripes. So I'm just kind of going back and touching up some of the spots I might have missed. And then I realized I also wanted to add something to the inside of her sunglasses. And so I ended up pulling in like a light yellow just to add a little bit of light, almost imperceptible color to her sunglasses. And it's the Y3 from Studio 71, and it's actually says cocoa, but it's a really light yellow. And now get to fussy cut her out. And then I can set her aside to finish drying while I build the rest of my page. So I decided that I could use some of these 6x6 papers to make wider strips. So I have two photos that I left at like 4x6 and two that I cut down, trimmed down to like 3x4-ish. And so I'm just looking for a couple different of the pool patterns that I wanted to use behind my pictures. And I like that tile one because my girls are actually at a splash pad, not a pool in this particular layout. And I liked that the tiles like the bottom of the pool because that also looks like some of the splash pads that we've been to. So I figured that if I layered them just right, I could hide my pictures over the seam of where the pieces intersected, and then you wouldn't know that I had more than one, like that it was two separate pieces of paper. So here I'm just trying to get those lined up and adhered together before I adhere them down to my piece of white 12x12 cardstock. And I did pull that 12x12 white cardstock from my stash. And now that I've got them lined up satisfactorily, I can go ahead and adhere that down to my page. And I wanted to go with the blues just because they were more of a solid color than some of the other patterns in this collection, and I thought they would help my photos pop. So I'm going to get my photos down, and I went ahead and put adhesive on both at the same time so I could make sure that I get them both lined up and where I need them to be. And I'm just using some cardstock from my desk to help push them down without getting all my fingerprints all over them. So here I'm doing the same concept at the bottom with these thinner strips and just kind of adhering them together so they look like one continuous strip. And I did have to, because I had cut them down to 3 inches maybe. They weren't the same exact width, so I did have to clean the width of one of those up a little bit, but still, once they're behind the pictures, you're not going to be able to notice. And then I can go ahead and get these pictures down as well. And then the fun begins with decorating and embellishing and creating some embellishments. So I know I'm using that little girl as one of my main focal points, but I want to back her and my title with more of a solid, and I wanted a pink. So I decided to pull in the Summer Ombre collection, also from Scrapping for Less, and went with one of the pink ombres that matched the embossing powder that I used. And I'm just using this paper. I only used one sheet, and I'm just using it to back my title. And then I do die cut a circle that I put behind my little girl with her floaty. And then I also punch some other circles later on for embellishments. So here I'm also stamping out the sentiment, it's pool time, even though I know we're not in a pool necessarily, but we're still having some water fun. So I decided to go ahead and use that. And I just pulled, it's a little, like 3/4 inch scallop circle, I think, or maybe it was an inch scallop circle punch from my stash to back that it's pool time. And then I have a stitch circle die cut that I just put down underneath for my little girl here. And I'm adhering her with some Nuvo Deluxe glue, and we'll let her dry. I'll get my pool time sentiment down, as well as my title sentiment here. And I figured that some of the fun patterns that were in this Summer Floaties collection would make some fun embellishments. So I decided to fussy cut out some of the pineapples and some of the popsicles from one or two of the prints. And I'm going to turn these into some embellishments. So I had already cut one pineapple out just to make sure that it was going to look okay once I fussy cut it. And since I was happy with it, I decided to go ahead and finish off that row of the little pineapples. And luckily, they're really easy to fussy cut even though they are small. So then I also decided to pull in the popsicles. And I don't cut as many of the popsicles. I think I only do like 3. And again, I'm just fussy cutting them. And I left a little bit of white border on the popsicles and a little bit of the green border on the pineapples. So I'm going back to that same sheet of that ombre, the Summer Ombre paper, and cutting out some, I think these are the 3/4 inch circles or 1/2 inch scallop circles, and want to put them behind my little pineapples just to give them a little bit more interest. And so I'm also creating some other layers here with a scrap that I had of one of the blue pool patterns that I'd used. And on some of the embellishments, I just do a pineapple, and some I just do a popsicle, and then some will have both. And then I also realized that I wanted some like little word strips, and so I create a few of them. One says summer, one says fun, and then I think I have the splash pad. Sometimes I forget like how fun it is to actually create your own embellishments, because I get so used to having, you know, such a ready stash of stickers and other embellishments in my stash that this is kind of fun just to create some from scratch and to make them completely custom to whatever it is that I'm working on. So here I'm just using my Nuvo to glue everything down, and we'll sit those under a block so that they can dry and set. And we haven't actually visited our splash pad this year with everything going on. I think it just opened this month. So this was a good little memory, something that we haven't gotten to do yet this year. So I decided to take it and make them even more fun by adding some little smiley faces to my pineapple. They reminded me of some of the little images that my girls have. And I decided I needed one last popsicle to add to this little layered element to cover up where my two little banners meet there.
Name your product.
And then once this one's done, I can start adding them to my page. Oh, I forgot. I do add some Wink of Stella to the popsicles. Since I added smiley faces to the pineapples, I didn't want the popsicles to be left out. So I did add a little Wink of Stella so that they could have some glitter fun. And then I did add a small white strip there that I can journal on later on. And now it's just a matter of trying to figure out where I want to place everything. It's always a challenge for me because, you know, you have that rule, the triangle rule, where you want to keep a visual triangle, but then sometimes I always feel like there's a spot that's outside of that triangle that just really needs something. So sometimes I just, you know, say, who cares? I'm going to put, it's outside my triangle, but I'm going to put it up here anyway. So just to make it easy on myself, I'm just using some larger glue dots to add all of these to my page. And I do have a couple of clusters going. I put the two small embellishments together that say summer fun, and then I added two of the little pineapples around my little girl with her floaty there. And then just adhere my title. And my little girl, and these last few embellishments, and we are all done. But I hope you guys enjoyed this project. Sometimes it's nice to do something, for me, to do something other than cards, especially because I'm really far behind on my scrapbooking, my personal scrapbooking, so it's always nice if I can squeeze in a scrapbook page for some design team projects. But I do add some white Blizzard White Diamond Nouveau drops here around my little girl. And that's done. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this new collection, and we'll check it out. There will be links in the description box below for the products, the Scrapping for Less products that I used today. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I hope you're all having a great day. We'll see you next time.